Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to part 2 of the Secret of Moonacre Cage Bustle Sew Along vlog, where I'm making a structured Victorian bustle skirt. In part 1 I explained what I'm making in more detail, cut out the panels, and showed you how I make pleated ruffles. Be sure to check out that vlog via the links below. In part 2 I'm going to finish making the skirt, and make sure you stick around for the big reveal at the end. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this video. And now, let's get on with the sewing.
No, you're not allowed in here. One. Bye bye. Mind the toes.
It's been a couple of days for me, probably just like moments later for you. But it's now Tuesday evening. You last saw me working on Saturday afternoon when I was trying to get this skirt done in a day, which obviously I didn't do. So yeah, it's now Tuesday evening and I'm going to try and see if I can get this mostly finished tonight in a couple of hours, but we shall see. I might have to just do a little tiny bit of finishing off just at the end of the week, ready for our picnic on Saturday. So yeah, so the last thing I think you saw me do was this section here. I was stitching I think I showed you making the fire strips, and I have since stitched those in place. And at the moment, this is just pinned on at the moment. I didn't quite get as far as stitching it because I keep umming and ahhing about it. I'm not 100% happy with how it's looking. I don't know what it is. I love this style of skirts, but for some reason this bit at the top, it just never looks quite right or quite how I like it. I don't know, I can't quite figure out what I don't like about it, but yeah, I was kind of pinning it on and umming and ahhing and didn't get as far as stitching it down. So yeah, as you can see, I'm still umming and ahhing and haven't stitched it down. I think actually, yeah, I think I showed you, I can't remember what I did like 2 days ago, but yeah, I think I showed you these were actually slightly further apart, and that really didn't look right, and I kind of went back to the images of the original costumes from the movie just to look over those again and realised that they were a lot closer together. So I took the top boning channel off and I've just reapplied it just in the middle between the two that were already on there. And that is better. I think that is an improvement. At the moment I've flipped it round so that the ice blue channels are underneath. I'm not sure whether I like them on the outside. I just don't know whether it's just looking a little bit stripy, a little bit too much. Not that I do want some of the ice blue on here, and there will be more ice blue to go on here because I'm going to add like on the original movie costume, I'm going to add some sort of ribbon tails and sort of decorative kind of swags kind of all hanging off here as well. So there will be more ice blue to go on here. But yeah, I'm just not sure whether it's a bit much with the stripe, I don't know. And I have also since played around by adding this ruffled layer on here as well, which is just simply a big rectangular piece of the leftover sky blue, kind of folded in half, so it's the fold is on this bottom edge, and at the moment it's loosely pinned to emulate Gabba's where it goes onto the waistband there, and that just softens it, and I actually quite like that. I've also since added there's a little bit of, I don't know if you'll see it, I've put a little bit of wadding underneath here as well, just to emulate a little bit of a bustle pad, just to give it a little bit more oomph, which is helping as well. I do have an actual bustle pad, but it's somewhere in my bedroom, and I need to fish. I'll need to fish it out before the weekend, but I haven't got time to fish it out now because I want to crack on and get this sewn and get this finished, because it's really going to bug me if I have to spend another evening doing this. It's one of the troubles with when you are creative and when you're a dressmaker, dressmaking for yourself, sometimes you can just be so overwhelmed with, because you could do anything, but yeah, I could give anything a go essentially, and it's always tempting to try everything or try anything, or you know, trying to go a bit over the top when sometimes less is more. So when I'm working for clients, I'm kind of reined in a little bit by their brief and their parameters, but when it's me, what is my limit? I don't know. The fact that I've got to get this done for Saturday, that's my limit. So yeah, I need to make a decision, and I want to make a decision very quickly this evening. So we are a little bit later now, and we've been making progress, although as you can see this panel still isn't attached to the front panel of the skirt. Yeah, why did I choose to do this skirt again? But look, I'm starting to put the boning in, and there's just something about when the boning goes in and it just, that shape is just, yeah. So as you can see, I decided in the end to go for the contrast boning channels on the outside, so it matches with the skirt going down, and I've maintained with having the ruffle on the top there, just to soften it a little bit. But you've probably seen a little bit of footage of me playing around where I had some bows and some sort of swags, some sort of scraps of the fabric, just playing around with just how it looks as you start to add stuff on top as well, because sometimes it's just the little bits that just start to, you know, actually that it all works together. So yeah, I was quite pleased with how that was looking. So so that's what I did there. And I don't know if you can see very carefully, I originally said that this was going to be stitched into the seam and caught in with the overlocking, but that would mean there would be, obviously there's a layer of fabric here plus the layers of fabric where the boning channels are, then there's 2 layers of fabric on this ruffle. So then by the time you've included that in the seam, you're talking 4 layers of fabric up here, and then on one side I'm going to need to turn it back to create the opening for the placket to go in as well. So yeah, so it's starting to get a little bit thick and bulky with fabric, so I thought, well actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press over, so I've overlocked it underneath. I don't know if you'll see that. Kind of the same as I did on these pieces, essentially. Just pressed it over to tidy up and just stitched it right down that edge. The seam will just miss that, so that should be fine. So that just helps reduce that bulk there. So yeah, and then I have added on these pieces here, which it appears to show these in the original skirt. I think the idea is that it basically hides where you can slot the boning in and out, and there's one on the other side as well, so it's obviously symmetrical. So I've just added those on. So they are just simply a long strip of fabric folded in half, seamed along the short edges at the top and bottom, turned it through, and then I've just overlocked it onto the edge, so that's all just nice and neat and caught in there. There's still a few tails of overlocking bits that I need to trim off, but we shall get to that. So yeah, so I am now just going to finally attach this to the front panel, and then I will actually have a skirt rather than pieces of a skirt. Can you see the colour of the sky out there? It's so pretty this evening. So it's currently about 20 to 10 in the evening. So we're nearly we're a week away, 6 days away from summer solstice on the 21st. I love these light evenings, and you can just hear the birds singing. I've got the window open because it's really warm and sticky again. Yay for summer. But yeah, how pretty is that sky? Right, let's get this skirt sewn together. I'm determined to get it together, and I'd really like to get it hemmed and then I can just worry about putting the waistband on, and then it's just finishing off details. So I have more of a skirt than I did earlier because it's actually attached. The two panels are attached. Yay. Obviously it's still humongous because I need to pleat all this up onto the waistband, but that's going to have to wait until Thursday night, because tomorrow night is Loki night, so we have to watch Loki, and yeah, so I shall get this finished Thursday. So it is literally, I just need to put the waistband on, buttons, and ribbony trimming bits. Oh, and the boning, obviously the rest of the boning in, but otherwise it's getting there. I have put the hem in. The hem of the ruffle pleat section was already done, so that length was set, so I just wanted to finish off the hem underneath, and I'll do any minor tweaks I need to do to the length when I put the waistband on, but I'm fairly certain it's going to be fine. Obviously I know roughly what my length in my shoes is. Shoes is. Yes, I know roughly what the length in my shoes is. I can speak English. But yeah. Look at that. For the hem, I've just overlocked around the very edge. Obviously it was attached down as far as the ruffle edges anyway. So yes, so I just turned up basically the 2-inch excess that I'd left on there. There is, if you can see that bit of springiness in there, that is some horsehair braid, or what we call horsehair braid. Obviously it's not horsehair braid anymore, it would have been originally, but we use nylon plastic kind of woven mesh now, which does the same job. So that's in the hem, just to stiffen the hem a little bit and just help kick it out a little bit, stop it collapsing in on itself when I walk, that kind of thing, and just adds that little bit of flair to the bottom as well. So that is stitched in 2 inches from the overlocked edge, so that's the stitching line down here. Then it is turned up, so it creates a nice neat fold, smooth line along that bottom edge of the braid. And then because obviously this hem has the ruffle on it, I can just do a simple straight stitch just to stitch that in place. So that is the hem. So obviously that then, turn it up again. Yeah, and I still haven't pressed in the front pleats yet. I shall do that. So it's looking good. So I'm just going to chuck this back on the mannequin, so it's just out of the way, and we shall carry on Thursday night. Love a good bustle shelf. Look at that. Alright everybody, it's now Thursday evening, so the picnic is on Saturday, so I have got to get this done tonight. I really don't want to be doing this tomorrow night, because I want to be able to, you know, have a bath and paint my nails and, you know, do some nice relaxing stuff, not stress sewing the night before an event. It's not an event like officially, it's just a meet-up of friends from the Lincoln Steampunk Society, but yeah, I want to make sure I am presentable. So my tasks for tonight are, I need to put the waistband on because that is just still pinned on there at the moment. I need to finish putting the boning in, and then I just need to decide what kind of trimming elements I'm going to put on it. There's some lengths of ribbon which kind of attach each of the points together, and it just stops, especially this bottom one has a tendency to just drop down a little bit, so it just helps keep everything kind of level, but that'll make more sense when I come to do that in a little while. And then I'm still playing around whether to do something with a bow or something on the back as well, with some ribbon tails, just to add a little bit more oomph, because it's the Victorian era, you can't have too many bows and things on a dress, can you? So first things first, I need to put the waistband on, which won't take too long hopefully, but I want to check it is right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on my petticoat, and I have my bustle pad, and I'm just going to put those on and pop the skirt over the top, kind of just pinned loosely where the gathers are, just so I can check the length on it really. So this petticoat is very, very old. It's probably, okay, I've got a tea stain on it. Guess I'll be washing this tomorrow then. Yeah, so this is a very old petticoat that I made for one of my first Victorian costumes that I made. It's actually designed, she says, try to find the button on it. Let's see, how hard is it to do a button up? Yes, this is a cotton petticoat. I made it to go under an 1850s dress, so it's huge, it's got loads of volume in it. But what I did is I added these, you can see, it's got a couple of ties. There's a tie on the outside and there's a tie underneath on the inside as well, so that I can basically bunch all the volume up towards the back, and then that works really nicely for later era petticoats as well. And then if I want to wear it with a crinoline, or just as a big floofy petticoat, I can just release the ties and all the volume comes back around the front more. And again, this bustle pad is very old. It's just cotton with quilt wadding inside it, and kind of some stitching lines to sort of quilt it, and a little bit of lace trim, with a ribbon, Petersham ribbon tie that just ties around my waist. It just gives me that little bit of extra oomph at the back. So we shall see how it's all going to look. That's huge. Does my bum look big in this? Well, the busty bit works. Oh, I can't wait to get the rest of the boning in. It's going to be epic. I've still not figured out how I'm going to actually get this in the car to drive to said picnic, but we'll figure out a way. The beauty of these is they do kind of squash up, so yeah. And worst case scenario, if I have to, I will drive to the picnic in my petticoat, and I will just throw the skirt and the kind of, I've got my little boned belt will just go on over the top when I get there. But yeah. Right, I need to go check the length. As I stand at the moment, you probably can't see this. Excuse my messy floor, obviously I've been at work today and there's fabric and bits everywhere. But yeah, as I stand at the moment, you see I can walk and it is above. skimming across the top of my feet, which is what we want. And that's nice. Sorry, that's probably a bit dark, but yeah. And you can see there where it's the tail bit is dragging on the floor a little bit. Now this isn't fully fitted on my waist yet. Once it's tightened up, it will lift it a little bit, and then the boning obviously is going to make it stand out a little bit more. And then I've got, like I said, these ribbon pieces which will just lift it as well, so it's not trailing on the floor quite so much. But yeah, I'm just going to go look in the full-length mirror in my bedroom, and I'm not taking the camera in there because my bedroom is an absolute mess, and I shall be back. I think it's safe to say this bustle's huge. That's making me laugh. Okay, so I have checked the length and I am happy with that. I've made it to the same length that I've made my skirts before, so I knew it wouldn't be too far off. I just wanted to make sure before I put the waistband on, because I don't want to have to take the waistband off to lift it up if it was too long. Yeah, but that is all fine. So the waistband is a length of the fabric cut to my waist measurement plus 3 inches. Then what I do is I take my strip of fabric and then I use this, which is waistband interfacing. So it's self-adhesive interfacing. It has the gluey bit on one side, and it's got these little perforations in it which make it nice and easy to fold. And then I just get my scissors and just snip that off right there. Then we press that in place. I've then folded it right sides together and stitched in the seam allowance, and I've stopped just at the point where these little spacing gaps are on the interfacing, and now I shall press this into position. So the first thing I do is press up the seam allowance on one side, because that just makes it easier when it comes to pinning that onto the skirt. Just so you know you've got that line of pressing, so you know that's kind of your fold line, that's your stitch line, that's where that's going to be. Then I turn it. When I turn it, then that the seam allowance that I've just pressed under is now pressed underneath there, and then I shall just now press this nice and flat. And this sort of this raw edge that's hanging down here, this is where I shall the first side that I shall stitch onto the skirt. And then obviously the skirt will get attached, and when it's folded under, so if my hand is the skirt, this will then get stitched down on the top. Yeah, and that's our waistband ready to go. Okay, so when I'm applying the waistband, I always start on the inside of the skirt, so I'm pinning it to the inside of the skirt, and then when I fold it over and stitch the pressed seam allowance of the waistband down, that is then obviously I'm stitching on the outside of the skirt, so that means it gives a nice neat finish just along that bottom edge there. Whereas if I stitch it the other way around from the other side, you can guarantee that if my stitching is slightly off, you know, on one side or the other, you might get a wonky stitch line on there. So yeah, I start by working on the inside. I normally start by pinning over the placket. So I've pinned in the placket and the back panel where the gathered section of this ruffle is. So then what I need to do with the leftover bit, I fold this round to where the seam on that panel on the skirt is. So just tuck it in, and from there I can mark where the centre front so that's where the centre front is going to be. Yeah, but then what I do, move the waistband out of the way, I basically do the same thing with the skirt panel. And obviously, you can mark this ahead of time, but I just do this by eye. So fold that panel in half. Nice and taut, and that will give us the centre front there. Then bring your waistband back over, match up your two centre front points, attach the other end of the waistband to the other end of the skirt panel. And then we pleat in all this excess, so this is all I've got to get into here. Now, I do tend to do this by eye, although I will have a quick measure in a little while just to make sure it's even on both sides. But what I normally do is you want a little bit of a section at the front which is flat with no pleats in it. And then the remainder of this I will then work into 3 fairly deep pleats which will sit kind of right on the side of the hips here. And I just play around really with how much volume there is. I try and make each pleat kind of even, but you know, if it's not 100%, I'm not too fussed, you know. You say how much they overlap is kind of dependent on your waist size, because that's the beauty of these skirts, is, you know, they're kind of designed to be adjustable, so that, you know, you can take the waistband off and easily adjust the size for the next person that own the skirt, essentially. So hopefully you can see 3 pleats there, and that's the centre front pin there. So then I'm just basically folding that front panel in half, and I'm just assessing where my pleats sit on each side and whether it needs tweaking or whether it's okay. Alright, let's get the rest of the boning in these tiers, and yeah, we're getting there. I'm finished. As you can see from these last few little bits of footage, since last night I have just added on that additional bow and I mounted it on a brooch back, so I can easily take it on and off or move it around if I don't quite want to. You know, sometimes bows can be a bit much, so if I don't want to wear the bow, I can take the bow off, or I can wear the bow somewhere else on the dress or on the outfit. I can put it on a hat, you know, anything like that. And that just gives it that little bit more flexibility. So yes, I'm really excited to wear the outfit for our picnic tomorrow, and I'm hoping to be able to get some footage. We're going to a country park near to us. It's in the grounds of a former kind of country house, country mansion, so it's got really pretty grounds, lots of lakes and woodland walks and things like that, so it should be really pretty. Obviously this skirt wasn't designed to be a full-on replica of the Secret of Moonacre costume, but I was very much using the dresses from that movie as a starting point, and I really do love that bustle style. I don't know what it is, there's just something about it that's so pretty, even though it's kind of quite structured and quite rigid. I think having like the softness of the ribbons and things on it, I don't know, it just, yeah, it's just, I just really like it. I can't really describe it, and it's so different as well to you know, your generic bustle styles, if you like. So yes, it's not historically accurate, although it's loosely based on sort of Victorian petticoats. But that's the whole thing about steampunk, is you can just have a bit of fun. You can wear your undergarments on the outside, so you can wear your corset on the outside, you can wear your petticoat on the outside. And as I said at the start of this video, what did I say? I can't remember what I said. Something about wearing your petticoats on the outside. Something about showing off your petticoats, but it was more alliterated than that. I can't remember. Oh, I'm so rubbish at this. Yeah, something. Yeah, I can't remember. You'll have to. I'll probably edit it in, but yeah, show off your petticoats, people, because they are really pretty and equally worthy of being the focal point of an outfit as much as a corset. So do make sure you stay tuned for the big reveal just after this little bit of outro. If you've joined me as part of Cozy 2021 or the Costume Symposium, I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend of fun and exciting videos from all of us here at the Cosplay community. If you don't know what Cozy is, then I suggest you go check it out. So as of this weekend, when this video goes live, there is a whole weekend of costuming based videos on YouTube, and there's stuff going on Instagram as well. And it's all being hosted by the costuming community on YouTube, and we call ourselves Costube. And there is everything for all sorts of costuming, from cosplay to historical to fantasy to vintage, you know, and everything in between. So do please check out the links. I'll pop them in the description down below. And the amazing thing is that it's totally free because it's all on YouTube and Instagram. You just need to make sure you find the right videos, follow the hashtags. But yeah, they're completely free, and they will be here forevermore as long as YouTube exists. So if you don't catch them all over this coming weekend, come back at any time and you'll have an inordinate amount of videos to go through full of wonderful costuming content. If you're new to my channel and you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up by clicking the little link down below. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, it would really help me out, and I'd love to see you in some of my future videos, and you can catch up on all of my previous videos that I have released. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the reveal of my new steampunk bustle outfit, and I will see you in my next video. Take care guys, bye! lighting's gonna be atrocious. I don't want to zoom in my face tonight. And that's all just been recorded. Do the waistband, that's the main job this evening, which won't take very long, but I need to check it's right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually... Ow! Don't kick the mannequin feet. And I'm doing that thing where I'm looking at the monitor screen again. Damn it!